All right, folks, buckle up. We're diving deep into the latest twists and turns of the Jeffrey Epstein saga. Just when you thought this story couldn't get any stranger, the Justice Department drops another bombshell. 1 million more documents. 1 million. It feels like we're constantly peeling back layers of an onion, and each layer reveals more questions than answers. Today, we're going to break down what's really going on, what the experts are saying, and what should be happening. Get ready for some truth, bombs, and maybe a few laughs at the absurdity of it all. Let's roll the tape.
Well, the Justice Department says 1 million more documents potentially related to convicted sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein's case have now been uncovered. In fact, in a social media post, the DOJ stated the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York informed the agency the findings and could take weeks to comb through.
Weeks to comb through 1 million documents? Seriously, this isn't exactly a groundbreaking discovery, folks. It's not like they found an ancient scroll in a forgotten tomb. These are their own files. It begs the question, how on earth were these just uncovered? Were they under a pile of old coffee mugs in a back room? Did someone finally check the spam folder for classified info? It feels less like a diligent discovery and more like a classic government oopsie, or dare I say, a strategic delay. For a case of this magnitude involving such heinous crimes and powerful figures, this level of disorganization or slow walking is just unacceptable. It's like saying you're going to clean your room, then finding a new closet you didn't know you had filled with more dirty laundry. Come on, DOJ, give us a better story than that.
So let's have a conversation about this. Live now to CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. Jessica, first of all, good to talk to you, friend. So this seems like it's out of nowhere. Critics will call this a stall tactic. What are the consequences for what some say is late disclosure or lack of disclosure?
So there are a couple of different consequences here. I mean, one is political pressure, which we're already seeing. And then the second question is whether there could be any legal consequences. Reed, as you know, and as we've talked about, there was a piece of legislation, and it said that you need to disclose all of this information by December 19th. It will come as news to nobody that is now after December 19th. And so the Department of Justice has really blown the deadline in this case.
Blown the deadline, understatement of the year much. It's December 19th, folks, not December 19th-ish. This isn't like forgetting to return a library book. This is the Department of Justice failing to meet a legal mandate in one of the most high-profile public interest cases in recent history. When a regular citizen misses a deadline for taxes or a court appearance, there are consequences, and they're usually swift and unforgiving. But for the DOJ, oh, it's just a blown deadline. It makes you wonder if there's a different set of rules for those in power. This isn't just a clerical error. It erodes public trust, plain and simple. It fuels the very skepticism they claim to want to dispel. It's like promising a big reveal, then showing up late with half the information and acting surprised when people are annoyed.
Now, you can go to court and try and do one of two things. Basically, you can try and say, one, I want the Department of Justice to be punished, but two, I think more to the point, I want them to get this information out quickly. And at this point, the DOJ is saying there's so much there, we're moving as fast as we can. All of which is to say, I think the most likely scenario here is that the real consequence will just be political pressure.
Political pressure? That's it? Oh no, people are talking about us on television. That's the real consequence? Excuse me, but that sounds less like a consequence and more like a Tuesday for any government agency. If the worst thing that happens is a few sternly worded tweets and some talking heads on cable news, then what's stopping them from doing it again? This argument is a classic deflection. It minimizes the actual impact of their failures. We're talking about justice for victims, transparency, and accountability for potentially powerful individuals. If the punishment is just a bit of public grumbling, it sends a clear message. Deadlines are suggestions, and accountability is optional. It's like telling a kid, if you don't clean your room, I might frown at you. Not exactly a deterrent, is it?
And you and I talking about the fact that this is happening on television.
Yeah, and we're also seeing a lot of criticism where people are looking at the pages that have been released and there's just whole sections that are blacked out. Is there any recourse for those who are critical of those redactions?
Another really important question. I think those are my two big takeaways from the disclosure so far, which is one, that the deadline was not met, and two, that what we did get is a lot of black. And so the question is whether or not those redactions are proper.
A lot of black, we're talking about documents that are supposed to shed light on a dark, disturbing network. And what we get are pages that look like they've been attacked by a giant Sharpie. This isn't transparency, it's a game of guess what's underneath. While some redactions are, understandable for victim privacy, when the entire sections are blacked out, it just screams we're hiding something. It's like getting a puzzle box, but half the pieces are painted black. How are we supposed to put the full picture together? And this isn't just frustrating, it's deeply concerning. It feeds into the narrative that there are powerful forces at play trying to keep certain truths buried. The public deserves more than a heavily censored version of events, especially when it involves such egregious crimes and potential cover-ups.
And here again, we have the same two routes. One would be either Congress trying to use its inherent contempt power, which it hasn't used in about 95 years, to try and punish the Department of Justice for not providing all of this information in an unredacted form, or at least in terms of fewer redactions. The other, and I think this is more likely, is to try and go to court and say, there are only certain reasons information can be redacted in this case. It's identity of the victims. It is whether or not there's an ongoing investigation. And then there's kind of a bucket other privacy concerns. And so the repercussion here could be going to court and saying, we think these redactions are too broad. That happens a lot in cases. And then you fight about you have a judge look at it and you fight about whether or not the redactions are in fact overbroad.
Well, and we know so many victims have said, release the records. They've been the ones beating the drum the loudest. Jessica Levinson, always great to pick your brain and get knowledge. Thank you so much. Wish you a great day ahead.
And there you have it, folks. From missing documents to blown deadlines and blacked out pages, the Epstein saga continues to be a masterclass in opacity. It's a stark reminder that when it comes to powerful institutions, transparency often takes a back seat to, well, whatever they want to keep hidden. What do you think? Is this just typical government bureaucracy or something more sinister? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Straight Talk, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.